Previously on Party in Peril.
This, I will admit, I didn't see that part coming.
I have no desire to fight you.
Am I not a threat to you?
You are allowed to be the beast that you desire to be, human form or werewolf. I am only here as your friend.
What do you fear most?
War. I fear war.
There is a tribe of tieflings that still exists to this day. You can just take this knowledge for what it is, that you're not alone in the world. Where you're going, doom and destruction await, but it must be faced. Please just tell me I've made the right choice.
This is the right choice.
And the two of you step through the portal. You find yourself in a thick, wild forest. It's quiet, but eventually you begin to hear the chirping of birds, the soft shaking of the leaves on the lush green trees, kind of falling into hues of blue as dusk is just beginning to give way into night. Although it was dawn just before you entered the gateway, strangely you see fireflies, like tiny little golden orbs like floating all around you. And though the air is cool, don't really see any snow right now. You're just surrounded by beautiful trees, some of which you've actually never seen before, Avadore. And looking around, you can see that there is a clear pathway through the greenery marked with two leaning trees that have grown in the form of kind of like an arch, the top of which is kind of entangled each other, and mounted at the very top is the skull of a stag with flowers wrapped around its antlers. And a large crow sits on the arch nearby. The crow bobs its head a few times, tilts it sideways to kind of look at you before turning away and flying off down the path. And Sera's kind of looking around, kind of bewildered. You guys literally just walked through a portal from one place, and now you're in a completely different place, completely different time of day, and it's kind of thrown her off a little bit. She's never experienced magic like this before. Now, Avadore, maybe you've seen things similar, so it might not be that weird to you, but to her, she's very unnerved by all of this.
Can I use my spell to speak with animals?
Sure.
Is the crow still around?
He's starting to fly off, but you might be able to catch him.
Okay. So I'm going to use my spell to call him back.
Okay.
All right. Excuse me, my friend. Can you guide us to the land? What do you see above? Where are we?
The crow like kind of tilts his head, like he's flying back around. He perches back on the archway again. He's tilting his head and kind of looking at you. And you notice he's almost made of shadow. Like you're looking closely at him, and where you would expect to see, the edges of feathers, it's almost like it's slightly distorted. Like you're seeing like a shadowy version of an animal, and maybe it's not like an actual animal itself. And so you're not really getting an answer from it, but you can tell it's understanding you.
Do more caw, caw. Anyone out there, caw.
Yeah, when she's talking to animals, am I hearing her speaking in regular basic, or is she talking animal, or like is she speaking their language? Are you running around like cawing?
Let's let her decide. Avadore, what does it sound like? Are you just making crow noises?
Yeah, I'm making yes. Crow noises. Depending on what bird it is, I'll be whistling.
Just out of nowhere, we're just walking along a path. We see a bird, just like, just like shouting, like, oh, gross.
That's exactly what it sounds like. What she's doing right now.
My friend!
It scares me every time. I just want to add that.
The crow, the shadowy crow, sensing that you're trying to communicate with it, but it's not communicating back, flies down, does like a little circle overhead and just kind of circles around you, and then flies off again under that archway and just keeps going up the path and eventually leads out of sight.
It's like, by the way, I speak English.
I don't know why you were cawing at me. That was weird.
That was weird and a little racist.
Rude.
I think all of my noises would be like mating noises. Yeah. They're like, oh.
The crow
I see
flies
where
off.
this is going.
And it's like,
never mind.
the crow's like, that's our word. Only we can say that.
Still got it.
Sarah's gonna look at Avadore and is like, could you tell anything from that? It seems like it's trying to get us to follow it, but I mean, you're the one that speaks with animals.
Seems the only thing I can tell is that we are not on normal ground. Animals here, they're not what they seem to be.
That seems for sure.
So are we in an area is it like a separate plane, or are we just in a different part of the world?
You're in a different part of the world now.
Okay.
Basically, the place that you're trying to get to Eslam, is almost impossible to find for people that have not been there before. Kavela has been there before once. Was not a big fan, so he has ported you as close as he can to getting there. But again, because it's so hard to find, there's probably magical means that keep people from finding it so easily. So that's why he couldn't get you straight into the village, but you are close.
And can you describe the weather?
Yes,
Sure.
Okay, so no precipitation or anything like that. It's not warm. Like it feels cold. It's almost like, well, I guess fall weather would be very different for you guys living in Texas, but it's cool out. Like you would still need some warmer clothes and stuff. Where you guys just left, you would have seen a lot of snow, things like that. You're not seeing snow here, but it is still cold. Things are maybe a little damp, but the scenery is still pretty green for how cold it is. So it's very obvious that there's some sort of magic going on here. Like, this is not, whatever forest you're in, this is not a normal forest.
The obvious thing to do would be to follow the crow. So, any opposition to that?
I am not opposed.
Sarah's is very wary, and she's just like, I really don't like this, but we can move forward.
What other choice do we have?
Okay, then following the path, you can hear all kinds of creatures, like foresty creatures, just among the rustle of leaves and things in the trees. The sheet that Shepherd lies upon that is kind of floating in the air just kind of follows you all soundlessly from behind as you walk. Sarah's just staying very, very on guard, kind of looking around her frantically. She's holding her warhammer gripped really tight in one hand and her shield in the other, just kind of really tense and just waiting for something to go wrong. The fireflies that you guys noticed earlier seem to start flashing in unison, just kind of barely illuminating the area around you with their pulses of light as the outside light from the sun seems to start dimming the farther you walk. Like you're almost walking into just a forest of darkness. It's almost like time doesn't matter here. It's like the length that you walk is controlling how dark it is rather than the time of day.
Do you have night vision, should I?
Yep.
Cool. You're leading.
So is it dark now?
It's getting darker the farther you walk. The only way that you're really seeing that well, at least for Jack and Sera, is there are fireflies that are kind of flashing, almost like they're almost kind of lighting a path for you a little bit. They're kind of staying ahead of you a little, and they're flashing a little bit. Avadore, this doesn't really matter to you that much because you can see pretty well. But the others are either having to follow you or they're going to have to just kind of watch for the flashes of light from those fireflies.
All right.
I'm going to just dagger in my left hand or right hand, and I'll be on the other side. The other hand will be grabbing a part of Avadore's clothing so as she kind of leads us through. I'm on the defensive, but I also can't see anything. So it's kind of like it's led by fear, not a sense of protection. I'm just like, I don't like that I can't see anything.
Do a can you guys do a perception roll for me?
Oh, that's probably gonna be my best roll of the day. 23.
Okay.
21.
Okay. Avadore, you see this pretty well just regularly, but Jack, like, it's almost like the firefly is caught illuminated just for a split second so you could perfectly see the form of what seemed like a human woman up ahead up the path. And it's almost like she kind of ran across the path from one side to the other. And you guys both noticed it. Sera did not notice it, but you definitely did.
Did you guys see that?
Couldn't tell if it's an actual person or another shadow.
See what? I didn't see anything. Sarah's just like, she's freaking out right now. She's gripping everything so tight. What did you see, Jack?
I think someone's here with us. Someone just ran by.
Ran by? Did they look like they had weapons? Are they...
I don't know. I don't know who it was or what she had. I just saw what I think was a lady running by.
So you hear the caw of a crow, and all the fireflies suddenly disappear. And you find yourselves in complete darkness. Avadore, you're really the only one that's going to be able to see. How many feet is your dark vision? Is it 120 or is it 60?
Dark vision, 60.
60 feet. Okay. So you can still see up to 60 feet ahead. It is dim. Jack and Sera, you can't see anything. So Sarah's just like, oh, Jack, are you still there?
I'm right here.
Avadore, are you okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm standing ground.
Can you see?
I see the woman he's speaking of.
Okay, and you start seeing a fog start to roll in. And as you guys continue up this path, Avadore leading the way, she's the only one that can see. This fog is starting to roll in, and Avadore, it's actually starting to obscure your vision a little bit too. So now it's very hard for you to see also. Avadore, can you give us a flame or something so we can try to see a little bit better?
Yes, I'll produce flame in my hand.
Okay.
Yes.
As you make your way up this path, it starts to give way into an open glade in the middle of this forest. And in this glade, the fog is much thicker. And at least with the flame, you can still see a little bit. Not great, though. And you can hear the voice of a woman giggling. Do one more perception check for me.
14.
20.
Was that a nat 20? Dang.
No.
Oh, okay. So Avadore, because you have the dark vision, even with the fog, you can still see the silhouette of that woman is right in the middle of this glade. And where she is, it seems like the fog has kind of dissipated a little bit around her. And she's very plain looking, nothing very distinct about her appearance other than having very thick black hair. She's wearing tattered clothing. It's kind of like a cloth dress, and it's just kind of browned by like years of dirt and grime. There's black thorny flowers on vines wrapped around her forearms, like going from around the back of her hands, going up her arms to her shoulders. Upon her shoulders, you can see like various small skulls from various animals, things like that, like decorating the top of it. And she smiles at you very innocently, but she doesn't say a word, Avadore.
Okay.
Was it a scary laugh or was it a friendly laugh?
A laugh that in the situation that you guys are in, I mean, I can't speak for you two, Sera's freaking the fuck out right now. She's not having a good time.
I would imagine any kind of laugh that comes out of nowhere in the darkness is probably pretty scary, no matter the tone. Okay.
Avadore, can you see anything? I can't see. All I can see is this fog.
I do. I see very clear right now. Hello, my friend. I see this is your land, is it not?
She is sitting on basically like a tree stump in the middle of this glade, and she crosses her legs and kind of puts her arms up, her hands on one knee and rests them, and cocks her head to the side and just smiles this huge smile, and her eyes are just very, very wide.
We're visitors here in this town. You see, we're looking for special creatures out here of the land who know of the magic from here. Would you be one of them?
She stands up a little bit to her full height, takes a couple of steps towards you, and nods.
You see, we have a friend here who is enchanted by your magic, and only you or someone of your caliber can take it off of him. Are you in a position to do so?
She takes a few more steps forward, and that this grin has not left her face, and she points right at Shepard.
Correct. He is the one.
You hear the sound of a crow caw from behind you. Very loudly.
How romantic is it?
Not romantic at all. It sounds awful. It's a bad caw.
No. Your feelings weren't reciprocated.
She lowers her arm again and just keeps staring at you. And the crow behind you is getting louder and louder.
Is this a friend of yours?
She nods.
Will your friend help us?
She does not respond at all this time. She just stands there and stares at you.
Are we in danger?
All of a sudden, this woman begins to change. She starts growing in size, and her muscles seem to kind of distort, and she just keeps growing and growing and becomes this large, grotesque, distorted version of the woman that you were just looking at, stooped over with muscle and bone and pustules just bulging through grayish blue skin. The once thick black hair that she had now hangs in only patches and strands framing a wrinkled face with this maw just unfathomably wide with large and yellow and brown teeth. And she takes a few more steps towards you with her wicked grin looking even more menacing now. And the caw from the crow sounds like it's from all around you now. Roll initiative.
Aw. $16.
7.
Great. So Sera,
Sera,
I have a character sheet for Sera, just so I know how to aid you guys.
Okay.
She has a -1 to initiative, and I just rolled a 1. So Sarah's initiative is just 0. Does that mean she just doesn't help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out.
She's just gone. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
Okay. So this creature before you, this giant hag, she's going to, since Avadore is the one that was trying to communicate with her, she's going to reach out with this giant, just gnarled hand and try to swipe at you with these great claws, Avadore. So that is going to be 23. Does that hit your AC?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. That is going to be 10 damage to you, Avadore.
Okay.
Jack, you're up.
Okay. You produced flame in your hands. I don't know if it went out just now or what. Are we able to see what's lighting this?
She's still got the flame in her hand. You can see, but not well. So you in particular, you and Sera both are going to have disadvantage until such a time that you guys can figure out a way to see better. Avadore's the only one not at disadvantage right now.
Oh God, light this whole forest on fire. All right. I guess then, since this is a pretty large form, I don't think it would be too hard to just strike at her. So I'll do that. I'll just grab my daggers and start a stabbing.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
See. Does a 23 hit?
Yeah, you're at disadvantage though, so you're gonna have to roll twice.
Crap. 19?
Yes, you're still able to hit.
Okay, good.
Yep. Okay. So you're just attacking with the dagger?
Yeah, well, both daggers. I don't know exactly.
Your main hand's gonna hit for sure. You'll have to roll at disadvantage again for the second arm.
The hit on the first dagger is a 6, and then rolling disadvantage on the second. I hope it's that. Dang. And then does a 15 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Then on the second dagger, 3.
Avadore, you're up.
I would like to use my pass without a trace.
Okay.
For Sera, for us 4.
Okay.
And what that'll do is that it'll create a veil of shadows and silence radiates from me, masking myself and my companions for the duration. And it has a +10 bonus dexterity stealth for us.
Oh, wow. Do I need to do any kind of like roll against that or something like that to be able to see you guys? Or is it?
It doesn't say. Now, a creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage. That's us.
Okay, so right now, basically, so you're still in combat, but at the moment, I'm going to say that this hag thing does not know where you are. So I have an idea for how I can handle this with her. But yeah, right now she's just like, I have no idea what's going on. She's just like, you've just kind of vanished from her, even though she knows you're there somewhere.
So I'm going to try and protect Shepard and Sera, since Shepard's basically out and Sera doesn't know what to do. So I'm trying to cover them. And then by also protecting Jack and myself, we can attack her without her knowing where we actually are.
Okay. Okay, and you still have a move action too, if you wanted to move it anywhere, but...
I think my move action will be to just have my javelin ready as well. Do I want my javelin? No, I'll do a dagger also. So I'll just take my dagger out and I'll be ready to strike on the next move.
So it's going to be Sera's turn next. So what Sera's going to do... now that you guys are kind of hidden right now, but Jack and Sera are barely able to see this thing. So it's like both sides are having a hard time seeing each other. Sera is going to feel around on the ground. She's going to find a pebble, like a rock basically, and she's going to cast light. So this is, she can touch an object no larger than 10 feet. This thing can shed a bright light. So she's going to grab this and use her action to throw the rock kind of towards the direction that she saw Jack stabbing at earlier. And that's going to light up the place enough for you guys to see. So you guys are no longer going to be at disadvantage. So that's going to, she did that, and then she's going to use a bonus spell. She's going to summon a spiritual weapon and attack the thing with that now that she can see. So that is, so she summons it and it's not going to hit anything. She's like, I've never done this before. So I'm I'm going to try this thing. And she summons like a big, like glowing hammer kind of thing. And she flings it at that creature and just completely misses. And it hits a tree nearby. It breaks off like a tree limb and the creature turns its back to kind of look at where that is. But she did not hit the creature at all.
I just imagine like the holy sort of like sound that's like around it as it's summoning it, and she throws it like a slow-mo shot, and then just like goes right by the creature's head.
Yeah. Which is sad because she just lit up this place. She can see the creature fine. She still misses. We'll chalk it up to nerves and her having never cast this before.
There you go. Yeah.
It is the hag's turn. The hag cannot see you. But what I'm going to do, since it does give you plus to dexterity, she's going to flail around and just try to hit anyone she can. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have Jack, Avadore, and Sera all roll. Let's all roll a stealth check plus that 10 that we got from there. We'll see what happens if she's going to be able to hit anyone.
33.
30.
She is not going to be able to hit anyone. Okay, so
swing, girl.
Jack's turn.
Is she still aware of where I am right now?
At the moment, no.
I guess I'll take advantage of that and I'll get a sneak attack.
Sneak attack.
Yeah, sneak attack. That's what it's called. Okay. And I'll go ahead and just try to stab her again.
Okay.
Nice. I'm assuming this hits, but 25.
Yes, absolutely hits.
4 on the main hand. Wow. I rolled 3 2s, so 6 extra on that. And then with my offhand, 23 hits.
Yep.
And that's an extra 4, so 14, I think, total.
Avadore, you're up.
All right, so I have my dagger out. Let's see if I hit you. Does 16 hit?
Yes.
Okay, see how much. Boo. 1.
You say, ha!
Man.
And basically, yeah, just a little. Just
Sarah's like, didn't someone give you a magic staff and you pulled out a dagger?
I don't want to use it all.
doing?
I use all my spells.
You're doing what we do in video games, should I? Where it's like, oh, I have all these potions, but I'm not going to use them. And then you end the game and you have like 999 potions. And you're like,
No.
like, well, I was saving it just in case.
He said we're going to have an end game situation. I'm protected.
Okay.
All right. So 1.
Yes, so 1.
So 1.
Oh,
Okay.
real quick, can
Yes.
I know we can't like go back, but can I, as a move action, in addition to my turn, like use a my extra cunning action and just use it to hide?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that just to make sure I stay out of sight.
All right. Sera is going to attack. And God, Sarah sucks, guys. She sucks.
The nerves got to her.
So Sera is just, she's freaked out by all of this. She goes to swing with her warhammer and she does miss. She's still going to use that. Okay, she can keep using that as her bonus. So she's going to use her spiritual weapon and try to do that too. And whatever, Sera. Sera just doesn't care anymore, guys. Sarah's just like, I don't do anything anymore. Her spiritual weapon is still flying around. She summons it back from the tree that it broke the branch off. It whizzes past this big old hag's face, not hitting it again, but almost hitting Sera herself. I swear I'll get the hang of this, guys. I promise. Just try not to get hit when I'm doing this thing. I'm so sorry, everyone.
You're a strong, independent woman. Sarah, you don't need no man.
I'm trying to be, at least. The hag is flailing its arms towards the direction that the spiritual weapon just went towards. Everyone do a dexterity saving throw plus the 10, just like we did last time.
28.
28? You're fine?
21.
Cool. Sera got a natural 1.
Man, Sera.
She's doing bad. Hey everyone, just want to check in with y'all, see how you're doing. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Party in Peril. Hope everybody is healthy and well. We are doing our best to keep ourselves healthy and well as well. Man, that's a lot of wells. Wanted to bring something new up to you guys. First of all, I want to thank everyone for all the reviews on Apple Podcasts and those who have donated to our Patreon. As always, thank you so much. You guys are doing us a huge solid by donating, and that helps us keep putting out the shows that we love and cover some of the overhead and stuff like that. We definitely could use more to help cover the overhead and eventually transition to being able to do more shows. So if you do have it in you to be able to make a monthly donation of just $5, we would definitely appreciate that. And we won't let you down with the content. In fact, that's what I want to talk about today is we are working on some new bonus content specifically for Party in Peril and some of the other shows that will be going up as Patreon rewards. As I talked about last episode, working on some short stories. There's going to be some more things to come in the future with other campaigns once this campaign is over. And speaking of that, right now we're instituting a new reward system that will come into play in the next campaign. Now there's only, including this episode, there's only about 5 or 6 episodes left until this campaign is completely done with. And then we'll be taking a small break and we will start on our second campaign, which we know what it's going to be. It's still going to be a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. And I am so excited for it because it's going to be very different and it's going to be a lot of fun. But something I just want to mention for that, I have subtly been naming some characters after those that leave comments with your 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. I will continue to do so. And in fact, if you do leave a review of Party in Peril, then there's a good chance that some kind of NPC or item or location within the next campaign will be named after you. Additionally, if you do choose a monthly subscription on Patreon, you will be able to submit an item to us that will appear in the game. And I will work with you on that to make sure it's something that makes sense for the world and isn't something too ridiculous or overpowered. So if you do want to do that, we will talk. Cool? Yeah. That is it for updates right now for this episode. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time. We're going to go ahead and get back to the story. The hag, since she saw where that magical hammer went by, she knows someone's there. She reaches out and she just kind of swings a claw, like kind of trying to scoop up whoever's there. She grabs Sera and pulls her against her chest and grabs the other arm and just starts crushing Sera against her body, like with almost like a bear hug, but like just squeezing it into her. So let's see how much damage Sera's going to take from that. 15 damage.
Oh, geez.
And then she is grappled. So Sera's going to have to roll to try to get out of that on her next turn. Jack.
Is there a way for me to help Sera get free from the grapple? Like a practical way?
I don't think that there's a clear way for someone else to get her out of it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to, at the very least, take action as if I'm trying to by kind of stabbing at the thing's arms or vines or whatever is wrapped around her.
Okay.
At the moment, just trying to like slash away at it with my daggers. Okay. Does an 18 hit?
Yes.
With my main hand, 5. Nice. 19 after the 3d6 extra.
Holy crap. Okay.
With my offhand, I rolled a natural 1, so I just dropped that dagger.
Yeah, that dagger just falls.
See, that's what the 3d6 should have done
you
last time, except I only rolled 2s.
So you did some pretty hardcore damage. So this thing is just, it's still squeezing onto Sera, but it is so angry. It's just screaming, and you can see like this big like drool dripping from its giant teeth. They're so big they look like stones, like old stone. and is just shrieking out in this scream that sounds almost woman, but also just like some sort of large animal at the same time.
So I'm just running at the creature like, Sera, let her go. Just like slashing. Just like, yeah. So I'm going to anger drove that.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm picturing Drax in Endgame in that scene where he jumps on, what's that big dude that was Thanos' henchman? He jumps on his back and is just like stabbing the crap out of it over and over.
I was imagining him like at Benihana's, like just like chop.
You're just
flipping broccoli into people's mouths. Is that?
Toss one here. Okay.
That happened to me once. So the first time I went to one of those places, a hibachi grill.
Yes.
And he's going to do the broccoli flip into my mouth.
Yeah.
It didn't get in my mouth. I got a flaming hot broccoli right in the freaking eye. It hurt so bad because it had like oil and stuff on it. It's not really his fault. It's because I'm an idiot. And so it just hit me in the eye. It burned. It was not fun.
Yeah. It's like, isn't it called like cauliflower eye or something when you get like punched in the face? Or like when
that's
it's
like ear.
You get cauliflower ear, yeah.
Ear, that's right. Okay,
yeah,
never mind.
I have a couple of friends that I used to be on a wrestling team, and they've all got really bad cauliflower ear.
Oh, it looks so gross.
I've got a little bit of it, like just the edges of my ear are really bumpy and gross.
No, I don't want to know.
Back to D&D.
Back to D&D before Jessup throws up. Yeah. So this thing is just screaming out in pain. It's in anger. And Avadore, it's your turn.
We could have been friends, bitch.
That's your finishing move
also,
line.
You hear that song from Veronica Mars? A long time ago, we used to be friends.
We could have been friends, bitch.
All right, what do you want to do?
All right, I'm gonna use my staff.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So I'll use my staff.
Okay.
Let's see if this hits. Yeah. Shit. Maybe not. Does 11 hit you?
It does not.
Ah.
Were you trying to just hit her with the staff, or were you going to do a spell?
Oh, just hit her.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That misses then.
Effectively, am I the only person who's hit this creature? Well, I just have it for one?
Well, Avadore did hit it, but only for 1 damage.
Yeah.
Earlier. So, yeah. Sarah hasn't hit at all, and she's paying for it with her life right now. Okay, it is Sarah's turn. Sarah's going to have to try to roll to get out of this thing.
Can she get some kind of advantage roll to that since I'm slashing at those arms?
No, but Sarah did just get out of it. So Sarah manages to get her arms up to her chest as she's being squeezed, and she just kind of shoves her, kind of just almost like a shove, just pushing into the thing's chest, and opens the grip just enough to fall out and to the ground. But that's going to be Sarah's action, is doing that, but she is going to try to use her spiritual weapon again as her bonus action and see what she can do. So she's still trying to sling this magic hammer around, and we'll see if she can actually do anything this time. And it connects. The magic hammer, now that Sera has fallen out of its grasp, the thing's kind of reaching down for Sera that it just dropped, and that hammer just connects with that thing right in the jaw for 10 damage.
Nice.
Just kind of rocks its head back a little bit. So Sera is kind of in plain sight now, but Jack and Avadore, I want you to do another stealth check.
27.
Okay.
Is that 10 still on there? The
yes.
plus 10? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, 20.
18.
18. Okay. So the only one it can still see is Sera. So it is going to try to attack Sera some more. So now it's going to use its multi-attack, which lets her attack 3 times. So we're going to see if she can hit Sera.
Ugh.
But it does not hit the one. Doesn't hit the second one. The third one Does not hit. So Sarah's like on her guard now. She's like renewed her strength. So this creature is swinging its claws at Sera. She's got her shield up and she's just hitting. Each time that claw comes down, that shield is just slamming right against it. So that creature has not hit a single hit against her. So Jack, it's your turn now. Sera is just boom, boom, just fighting off this thing with her shield as it's like clawing at her.
Then I will climb around the back of the creature. Can I I don't know if it's going to help at all, but can I Shadow of Colossus this at all and jump on its back and start kind of climbing towards its head as a move?
How about I'll give you that if you do a roll for me. I'm just trying to figure out what roll I want you to do. I'm thinking.
Can we not make it a strength check?
It's got to be a strength check. So it's going to have to be athletics.
Oh, I don't like my odds. Well, I've committed. All right,
okay.
Let me try. Ugh, never mind. I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4?
Yeah. Okay, I don't have any bonus to strength.
Okay, so you jump and try to start climbing up. So you grab onto the back of its thigh and then fall right off. You hear the little ee as you just slide down very slowly. You land back on the ground.
All right. Well, then that was my move. Let me just stab then. Okay. I'll just be stabbing.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Does a 16 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Then 17 on the first hit. And the second hit also does not hit. It's a 2. Man, I just can't hit with my offhand.
Okay.
That's why it's an offhand.
Just letting you know, this thing is beyond bloodied right now. And how we're going to describe it is this thing is covered in, like I said, there's, muscles kind of bulging. There's bone kind of sticking out. There's these weird pustules. And during the attacks and stuff like that, some of the bones have been cracked and snapped off. Some of the pustules have been burst. And this thing is just from all these stabs that you have inflicted on this thing, Jack, it is just leaking this dark green ichor from its body. And it is just all over the place. That's probably part of the reason why you slid off of the thing. We'll just chalk it up to that and not you just being inept.
So kind.
But yeah, it is not doing well. It is screaming. It's swinging its claws everywhere. Just frantically, and it is your turn, Avadore.
I gotta hit her, right?
She could just have one more health. Just use your dagger again.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my dagger. All right, let's see. Let's see if this.
Oh, I wasn't serious. Go ahead.
I was.
Oh no.
Does a 9 hit?
No.
So dang it, you hit for a 1 and then you just whiffed it on this one.
I'm just not good. I'm not. So,
it's flailing around, Avadore lunges with her dagger and just meets air. And yeah, and that's it.
I just trip and fall. Whoops. Good thing you can't see me. Not embarrassed at all.
Sera is up. Sera is not able to hit with her warhammer because she's just basically trying to evade these attacks with her shield. We'll say that's why, because I rolled really bad. But that spiritual weapon is going to hit once more. So it's picture it like Thor's hammer, but this thing is like a glowing kind of gold and somewhat see-through, and it is hitting this thing, and it's flying around in circles, and every once in a while going in and striking it again. That's basically what this is kind of looking like. So this hammer swings around and then comes back and cracks this thing in the back of the head, which splits open, and just green goo goes flying everywhere. The creature screams once more and then falls forward as Sera has to duck and roll out of the way and just slams the ground. And then just disappears into a fog and just dissipates. And all the fog that was surrounding you guys earlier is now gone.
Are we covered in ooze?
All three of you would have been really close to this thing. So yes, you are now all covered in that green goop.
We just got slimed.
You got slimed.
So the noises that we were hearing, like of the crow in the background or anything like that, was that all her?
So now that she has fallen, that crow flies right over the top of you. And now all of a sudden you notice that there's a cottage just on the other side of this glade. And the crow lands on kind of like the one of the shingles of this thing. And you can kind of see maybe there's like a little hole in the top of this thing, and it kind of just crawls in to this cottage. And honestly, it looks pretty normal. There's smoke rising from a chimney, signaling that there's probably somebody inside. It's just looks old. It's covered in moss and some grime. It's kind of wet looking, just like wet stained wood.
Shall we continue our adventure following that crow?
I'm checking on Sera right now to make sure she's okay.
She's like wiping goo from her face, just like, ugh. Okay, I don't know what that was. Let's never fight one of those again. Can we all agree to this?
Agreed.
I'm okay with that.
Thank you for that. Wasn't I did not have a good time. But at least I got to try out my new spell. That was fun. I learned that one from Grunwald. That was pretty cool.
Are you okay though?
I'm fine, Jack. And she, she's been a little unnerved from this whole thing, but I think she's kind of found a little bit of renewed resolve right now. And she's kind of looking you over just to make sure that you're not hurt. And she's examining Avadore and Shepard and sees that none of the rest of you took any damage. And she's like, okay, just me then. Good.
I took some damage. I took 10 hits.
That's right. You did take some damage. She's like, Avadore, are you okay? Do you need healing?
I'll be fine. I'll recuperate in the morning, I'm sure.
Okay. So that crow that we've been following just went into that cottage. I don't see any other way to go. So I guess we go inside, but let's be cautious. I definitely don't trust where we are.
Agreed. This land has not been quite the welcoming that we've received in previous episodes.
On previous episodes.
Yeah. I feel like we've just become self-aware.
I'm breaking the third wall.
You were going in the right direction with that, and then it just completely broke it.
That's fine. Shepard's been self-aware the entire time. So as you approach the cottage, you can kind of smell, like there's a little bit of a smell of incense, and you can hear that there's like a small fire on the inside. You could just basically hear like a muffled crackling of wood, and from that chimney smoke, you know that, yeah, there's a fire going inside. So there's definitely somebody inside. What do you want to do?
Is my pass without a trace? So the duration is 1 hour. How long was our fight?
The fight wouldn't have been very long, like minutes, basically.
Okay, since we're still incognito, can we just like walk around the premise and investigate the perimeter and just make sure that they're not like cannibals or something like that?
Sure. Are there windows?
There are no windows in this place.
Of course.
And we still have our plus 10 dexterity in case we have
Your
to.
stealth. Yep.
Stealth.
Absolutely.
Stealth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you want to walk around the outside of it? Or?
Yeah, I want to walk around the outside of it, see if we can hear anything coming from within, if anyone would come out or anything like that. Maybe we make some enough noise to see if someone will open the door.
Can I just do a perception check to see if anything seems out of the norm? I mean, aside from everything else that's out of the norm in this
Can we all do
place?
that?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
11.
11. What'd you get?
Well, I rolled a 1. So 6. Plus 6, 7.
So, Jack, everything looks pretty normal to you. It just looks like a normal cabin. Like you walked around the perimeter of it a little bit. It's just basically a wooden cottage. You don't sense anything really amiss or anything like that. Every once in a while, you can hear the sound of that crow, like will make a little car noise on the inside. You can actually hear a little bit of like humming, like there's someone inside and you can't make out male or female. You can just kind of hear somebody humming a little faint song. Avadore, as Avadore is walking the perimeter, she's looking at the ground and then just boom, runs right into one of the walls of the cabin.
It's exactly what I meant to do. That was on purpose.
So you hear a voice. Is someone there? Someone outside?
Did someone just run into my cabin? I just had it painted.
You can come in. The door's unlocked if you would like to come inside.
I'm just going to throw caution to the wind and just open the door and walk on in.
Okay.
Even though he doesn't see us?
If you want the person to see you, like, they can. But unless you say so, yeah, you're kind of like sticking to the shadows and things like that.
Yeah, can we pretend to be ghosts for a little bit?
I'm just gonna walk in. I'm just gonna brave it out.
Okay. As you enter, you're in a large but stuffy room that looks like it functions as like the entire home. There's a bed to one side with a very pale woman in it, her eyes closed. There's shelves of books and there's several jars of powders and potions and odd assortments in these jars. Like one jar has a bunch of teeth. One jar has some eyes inside of like some sort of yellowish liquid. In another jar is just a kind of transparent red liquid, and there's just an ear floating in, a singular ear. There's like flasks bubbling over a small blue flame, giving off some strange odors, and there's like different variety of colored vapors kind of rising from it. Now that crow is perched on a carved figure on a table near the fireplace. It's almost like a carved little figurine of like a tree that's just perched on. And in front of the fireplace is an elderly woman. She's got yarn and needles in her lap, and she was kind of humming a little bit to herself, but she stopped knitting and just kind of stares into the flames in the fireplace. And you realize that she looks and is dressed like the young woman that you just encountered a few minutes ago that turned into this giant hag. And now she's just this very elderly woman, just knitting and staring into the flames. And she says, "Well done. You're one of the few who have overcome my curse. Although I don't remember meeting any of you before to curse you. How have you come here?"
My father, he opened a gateway for us to come.
Your father? Who's your father?
My father, he's known as Kavela.
Oh, yes. I've had the pleasure of meeting Kavela a long time ago. We did not get along, but he remained respectful. So, if you are his daughter, which raises a few questions based on your appearance versus his, though I will not get into that, I will show you the same respect. And she kind of turns her head a little bit. And have all of you entered this cabin?
Yes. Okay,
so I'm going to say that Sera has entered to you, and then Shepard on that, the magic little blanket that's floating has gone into, and she turns and she says, "Oh, this curse was meant for a certain Edmund Halsey, and I sense his soul in that body, which means the curse I placed was for someone else wearing his skin. That would explain much of Edmund's actions before he left his family behind here. How did this come to pass? How do you have Edmund Halsey in the body of this drow, and why have you brought him here?"
It's a long story. Can you help our friend?
Check out episode 20.
Jeez, 20 episodes.
Right.
Well, yes, I can help him. And she stands up, and you can see, like, she has a lot of trouble walking. She's extremely old. But she slowly kind of makes her way, her feet kind of scraping against the wood of the cabin a little bit as she walks. And she leans over him on this floating blanket, and she sniffs. Yes, he can be healed. And he will have much to answer for once he is. However, you three are unknown to us. And we'll have to earn our trust before entering our village where we can help him. You've proven that the three of you can be quite dangerous. So your task is this. One of our coven, the one over here, and she points to that very pale woman in the bed that you suspect might be dead. One of our coven ran afoul of a paladin scout near Brindlebrook the previous night and murdered her. We were able to recover her body, and we can bring her back. But we need that monster's eyes to complete the spell. Retrieve the paladin's eyes for me, and you will gain entrance to Eslam, unhindered, and we will restore Edmund's soul. She looks over at the crow that's kind of perched over there as it begins to caw, and she says, "Oh, yes. And we can't have you accidentally leading anyone back here. And so," and then she waves a gnarled hand, and Jack, Avadore, and Sera, you all shrink to the floor as small woodland creatures. Thanks for listening to this episode of Party in Peril. If you liked this episode, please share it with your friends or digifriends on social media and use the hashtag NerdSloth so we can thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, give us a rating, all those things that can help out the show. It's like rolling a nat 20 every time. See you next episode. Presented by NerdSloth.
A place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, catch us on YouTube and Twitch or visit us at nerdsloth.com.